Good afternoon and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X, and today... Okay, got all the words out of me, I'm done. Not going to talk for the next hour. No, today...
Alright, roll call.
Done. Today, I'm going to go into the Holy Tome of Toth. Toth? Snot Teeth. To Alex Toth. And because my beautiful wife, for my birthday, got me the DVD set of original Birdman, I'm gonna draw me some Birdman. So the funny thing is I was opening this up, and I was looking at it compared to the show. I was actually a little confused.
It's very Egyptian looking.
Yeah, he's or robotic. He's like a little bit more robotic.
It's almost
wait,
like,
no.
Here it is.
Here it is. I misread it. Mechanical Birdman and Vulture, because I was about to say that's the Mechanical Vulture from that episode. That's not Avenger. Here's the funny thing. As far as I can tell, in this gigantic freaking tome of like Alex Toth's work, this is the Birdman pages. There's no Birdman. So I'm going to go through here later and see if I can find it. However, Mechanical Birdman here is close enough for me to do Birdman. And I was really honestly confused because I was staring at it going like, that looks like the robot version. And then, because I should read more, went over and just read the words. Oh, it's from Brain Thief, Mechanical Birdman, and Vulture, which is spelled with an exclamation point. Explanation. An explanation point. Good job, Eric. Exclamation point.
Close enough.
It's close enough. It's Saturday, right?
Yes, it is all day.
My God, it is Saturday. I also got to say, I'm looking at the Bird Boy, and I much prefer the Bird Boy in this version, even though it looks like he's wearing wool pants. Than an original Birdman, but not a Birdman attorney at law. I love that Bird Boy. Can I, borrow that? Because, frankly, you just Googled Birdman and got something better than out of the Alex Toth.
I literally did a Birdman model sheet search and came up with stuff from 1967 and you know me and my Google fool, huh?
No, I get that. I just and it's probably actually in there, but I flipped through it and didn't see it. So
yeah, it's
not bad.
It's on something that's maybe in there, but yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, can we send that to you or just
Could you message it to me?
I
will just use my phone. Behold the future.
No, you can just get it off of your pad.
Yeah, I'd rather use it on my phone because it's easier.
Okay.
Yes, please send it to my phone.
Yes, dear.
Look, woman! Tired of your lip. Your lip and your logic and probably 4 other L words. I'm tired of it. Or whatever. Wonderful.
I'm tired of this room and everybody in it.
There we go. Yes, if that isn't from the exact same school as 60s Batman, I don't know what is. Oh, come here, you. Oh, iPhone, how you are just too complicated for words. It didn't used to be that way. The great part is I usually start with eyes or something, and this design actually is forcing me to start with his cheekbones.
Mm-hmm.
This man is like 90% cheekbones, and it takes up like 2% of his design, but it's just his cheekbones. It's like the glow in the dark or something.
Oh, there's some space ghost designs without his mask.
What? No, I have the stuff on the right, but the stuff on the left, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah.
He's, I feel a little ripped off. He's a normal dude. Oh man, I was expecting something kind of more Ghost Rider for some reason. You know, like he pulls it off and like, you know, you like there's like empty eye sockets and like the glowing ghost energy of the universe just floating in them. All right, so he's a normal dude. I'll deal.
I'm looking to see if they're making. Yeah, I think this is. Yes, it says Space Ghost by Alex Toth. So I think that is an actual.
It looked like his work.
Yeah.
Not to say that I'm an expert, but it looked like his work. So.
There's the because that one that you said you have, that one's from.
Yeah, the one on the right.
Yeah, that's 1966, actual Hanna-Barbera production art. And of course it takes it away from you. Thank you.
Of course it does. That's what it does. And I will not be giving him pupils because screw his pupils. Hanna-Barbera heroes look so much better without the pupils. They never looked good when they filled them in. Every single time they filled them in, even as a kid, I was like, oh, what's with the pupils?
I think it was that they were more animation mistakes than anything. Cause
It had to have been.
Yeah, they normally don't. But then, like, I know the kids, like with Space Ghost, they did it with the wards or the sidekicks.
Sure.
Every once in a while, I think it was more of to connect with the human element of it, because they were human kids and all. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Jason Jan were much better looking. I'm about to get old on everyone. My hearing aid just literally went out.
Let me grab you a battery.
Which is weird because it should have a fresh battery in it.
Is that
Now it has no battery in it. Could you get me
exactly?
Could you get me a fresh battery?
Yes.
Old moment. The battery fell out of my hearing aid. Awesome. Meanwhile, I will just continue doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, we powered our hearing aids with frogs.
In pure spite.
Frogs and hatred. I don't even want to know what that hearing aid looks like. I don't. It's such a confusing thing.
What?
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 Yeah, exactly right. There we go. No. All right. I can hear again.
We know what hatred looks like. It looks like that red pop we had when we did the.
Oh, I know.
What was that, Big Red?
Big something
Oh.
like that. Who in the world drinks? Oh, that's just dreadful pop.
Sorry, not sorry. Are you Texas people?
No,
People
man,
that live with, like,
if
sorry,
that's your
not
thing.
Sorry. That stuff is horrible.
No, if that's your thing, go ahead and enjoy it. I thought it was disgusting. I think it was called Big Red.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was awful. It was legitimately disgusting. I was.
That was 100% pure. Nope. In my opinion.
Pretty much. You know, it's funny. I'm not a lot because I know a lot of people that like this artwork, but you know, back in the anime con days, people would make fun of like American animation and stuff, and some of it isn't that great. I mean, you know, no ifs, ands, or buts. We didn't always create the best shows. But there's just something marvelous about these like 60s Hanna-Barbera superhero shows. Yeah, more so I think than like the Super Friends, which was early 80s. And I think their predecessors, which was late 70s, I think they were trying to do. I think there was like some earlier like superhero stuff that Hanna-Barbera did. But
Super Friends was originally 1973.
73?
Yes. Yep, and then what you're thinking about is probably the Challenge of the Super Friends.
That's probably what. Okay, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
Let's see. Yeah, because I'm about to say, I was about to say Super Friends are a bit older than that, because the way the outfits and stuff looked was very 70s, because Wonder Woman's go-go boots.
Mm.
Let's see.
You know, that's true. Oh, I know what it is. I watched a lot of Super Friends in the early 80s.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Let's see, and Challenge of the Super Friends actually was 1978. So then I think a lot of the other stuff came through because that's when we started getting like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. That
Watched
was
a
early
lot of
80s.
that.
Yeah.
Man, watched a lot of Spider-Man when I was a little kid.
Oh, same here.
Holy crap, I watched a lot. That was like every afternoon.
It only came on the
Most afternoons. It was a lot of Saturday mornings, that's for
yeah,
sure.
that's exact. I remember the original '60s cartoon. Didn't watch too much of that, but I remember I loved the theme song, and when it would come on, I'd watch it.
I don't think I saw a lot of the 60s one.
Yeah, and then of course the '80s one with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I definitely watched a lot of that because that was always fun. And then because that's like Spider-Man was like he's probably one of my like top favorite superheroes. But see, there was that, and then '90s brought the Fox Kids Spider-Man, which was actually pretty good. I actually liked that one quite a bit, and that actually brought me into a lot of the Spider-Man lore more than anything. And then I think there was like some other ones. I think like MTV tried to do a series, and don't remember that one too much. I don't think I watched it. But from there, I think my favorite iteration, well, aside from the Sony Spider-Man movie, in the Spider-Verse, that's my favorite one so far. But the Spectacular Spider-Man series was really good too.
I liked a couple versions, and it's a shame that the Tobey Maguire. Did I get that right?
The first Spider movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire,
You know,
yeah.
the first one and the second one was really quite good, even with some of the, you don't understand why they made the changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like kind of making him a mutant instead of giving him like the web shooters and such.
Yeah.
But then that third movie was so bad that I've never been able to go back and rewatch the first two. The third one was just repulsively bad. To me. Some people out there might have liked it. I had a hard time with it.
Funny thing is, I don't even remember much of the third movie. I remember watching it.
There were some bits that I liked, but most of it was terrible.
Yeah, I don't remember much of it. I remember us watching it, and that's it. And I don't even remember much of it.
Yeah, I blocked a lot of it out, where you're just like, why did you do that? Let's put Venom in there. Why? Because he's the greatest villain. Who says? I keep hearing that people love Venom, but I'm like, I've never seen anything good with him in it. And I could be wrong. I'm not the hugest comic book guy ever, but
Even
he was like a villain.
The one-off movie they made a couple years ago, I didn't even hear much about that after they made it.
It's like he's just one of those dudes that has like a huge fan following, like Darth Maul, and then I just go like, okay, I don't get it, but sure, people can like him. I'm not going to judge. I don't get why people like Darth Maul. I mean, I get why they like what he looks like, but it's like he's such a meh. I mean, he said like 2 words in the movie.
I think it's because he's the anti dude, and
He's the anti-good.
yeah. Honestly, that's the way I put it. It's like he's not just bad; he's anti-good.
That's what I mean. Is
Yeah.
he's so two-dimensionally the villain that you're just like, okay, you look neat. And I like the little bit with him pacing back and forth behind the force field. I was like, actually, that was a neat moment. But that was it, you know, and I was like, why does everyone love this character so much? He's like, he didn't do anything other than get angry and fight the main character. I mean, that's 1,080s villains right there.
Same reason why everybody loved Boba Fett when he came in and didn't do anything.
But even Boba Fett did more than, he did. I mean,
one-off character, and everybody wanted to know more about him, and yada yada. I mean, it's like I said, everybody, all of the anti-establishment nerds wanted to, and no offense, and we're nerds too, so there you go.
Yeah.
But it's like they want they want the bad guy. They want to.
Yeah, but I want an interesting bad guy.
Because he goes against the rules, dang it.
Yeah, but he? Because he didn't say anything. I mean, like, he went against the rules.
He was fighting the good guy, so of course he did.
All villains do that.
But he knew space kung fu.
So did all the other, even the robot villains did that. So it was kind of like, oh, is that it? No offense, and I really mean it, no offense, but I hit some villains and I go like, why do people love this dude so much? Darth Maul and I just almost said Venom. Venom and Carnage was another one where I was like,
yeah, Carnage, he was a really kind of weird offshoot out of nowhere because it's like
it just seemed so random.
It's like they wanted to make. It's like how they made Venom the anti-Spider-Man.
And then they needed like a gore Spider-Man.
Yeah, they made
which was
Carnage
weird.
The literal. I don't even want to say id because he was just
because
pure.
Venom was the alien symbiote, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Well, and so was Carnage. Carnage was also a symbiote, but it was just they made it.
It's like another one. It was like, what are you doing?
They just pulled out the most evil. They made him like this weird psychotic prisoner guy. Was it some Kane?
I don't even
Yeah,
remember. I just going
Kane
like, I thought he was visually neat, but that was about it. I was like,
Yeah.
really?
But yeah, I didn't really read much about that because I'm not a fan of the whole symbiote thing and stuff. Unless if it's really well done.
Well, yeah, if it's a
sure,
good
but-
story, sure.
Yeah, like, there's been a few of the symbiote stories I've read. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting. But for the most part, the original Venom story I thought was okay. And the way Spectacular Spider-Man did it, the animated series, they actually did a really good job with that. I thought that was really neat. And the cartoon, the Fox cartoon Spider-Man. Was there an adjective for that one? Can't remember. I'm trying to remember.
About to say, hon, you know that one better than I do.
Yeah, I want to say there was, and I'm blank on that
It's a
one.
bit more
Unfortunately,
strong.
but yeah, they did a pretty good version of that one. Yeah, it was alright.
It was okay. I mean, it's not like I'm judging anybody for liking these characters, but I just hit ones where I'm like, okay, you're really into blank. Why? They're like, it's awesome. I'm like, oh, I mean, that's a good reason. I guess I just like to really understand, but I'll just hit these moments where I'm like, oh, he's awesome. Like, cool.
Well, yeah, and for a lot
Is there a
of
reason why he's awesome? Oh, it's just awesome. Oh, well, it's an emotional reaction. Cool, I get it. You're emotionally reacting. That's
and that's
awesome.
Actually, that's not a bad thing. Because there's stuff where I've seen where I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. Like, well, why? I don't know. It's just cool. I like it.
and I'm okay with that, but I try to understand like characters and why people like them. And when somebody gives me an answer like that, it's really unsatisfying because I can't learn from it. I'm like, oh, it's like I've only heard one good explanation of why someone likes Neon Genesis Evangelion, and that's it. One. I've heard one good explanation, and other than that, it's just awesome. It's like, oh, cool. I mean, you like it. That's your right.
I no longer, and this is going to sound bad, I no longer talk to people about that show because
it's just meh.
I'm not I thought it was okay, but the folks
It got boring.
really, really love it. It's like if you, it's
They're
like
obsessively in
if
love
you
with
say
it.
If you say even it was okay, they will
They
like,
get mad.
Yeah, they start like gnashing of teeth and crap and rending sackcloth, and it's just like wow, it's just a show.
And honestly, not even one of that studio's better shows.
Yeah.
And as mecha shows go, it's kind of meh. Which is why I go to Venom and I go like, well, why do you like Venom? And I guess I just haven't seen the stories where Venom is amazing. I just go like, oh, okay, I like the idea of Venom, but I just never saw anything with him in it that blew me away. I mean,
there's
sorry.
There's some stories that I've been lucky to take a look at working at the shop and stuff like that. And like I said, I got a chance to look through a few. Like, oh, this was pretty cool. But yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's some really like key Venom stories.
Sure,
And
which I haven't clearly seen.
yeah, and I'll have to see if I can find them because, like I said, there's a few. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool what they did with them. But it's been so long ago since I've read those, and unfortunately, again, not being much of a, I don't want to say not, it wasn't important. I was like, oh, that was a cool read, and that for me, that was all it was. It didn't stick with me because
Yeah.
oh, that was
I hear you.
fun. Yeah.
Well, it's like I said, I don't want to get on people for their favorite stuff. But if, for example, you use the whole Sith thing, you ever compare Darth Maul to Darth Vader, and I just go like, there's zero comparison. I'm sorry, Darth Maul fans, there's zero. Darth Vader had a story. Beginning, middle, end, even if you include those god-awful prequels, he had a story. Darth Maul, angry guy that shows up, fights the heroes, and falls into a hole. Which could be said for Boba Fett, but at least Boba Fett literally did more things. And I'm not a huge Boba Fett fan, but I at least understand why people get into him, because at least he did a couple things. Darth Maul just got angry and fought some people once and then fell in a hole. At least Boba Fett had a couple more steps in his plot line. I'm just saying. So I can at least go like, well, I can see why people got into him. You know, and I thought he was kind of cool as a kid, but I never was all like, oh, Boba Fett. I just, liked him.
Which is why I think I've been really wanting to see The Mandalorian because I've been hearing so many.
I've heard it's really good. Yeah.
My boss at work, he showed me some clips of some of the stuff, and unfortunately, I now know a lot of the stuff because he's not keen on not spoiling things. But
Spoilers? That's my job. Ha 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 ha. I
But,
hate that.
But yeah, I've seen some stuff, and
Jerk.
and for that particular one, I don't mind because it's probably going to be a while before we see it anyway. And so I think we're getting past the no spoilers territory.
Sure.
So
Well, yeah,
yeah,
there's a certain point where it's our fault.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But and just some of the stuff I've seen, I actually was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. And then I actually laughed at some of the more like the stuff that was actually intended to be fun. Like that was actually really fun. And then some of the story where I'm just like, oh, that was really clever the way they did a lot of the stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I actually want to watch the series and see about it because it's actually getting Star Wars actual lore, as opposed to, well, you gotta read this book and you gotta read that.
No, I
book,
don't.
And you gotta do this.
No,
and
I
you
don't.
gotta do that, and you gotta hop on one leg 3 times and chant.
Yeah. That drove me crazy.
Leia.
Well, when I was younger, what really drove me crazy was, okay, there was only 3 movies. Okay? Then everyone's like, well, you have to read the comic books and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. The 3 movies. That's it. Then they made 3 more movies, which were kind of not good, in my opinion. People are like, well, you have to watch the original trilogy, the new trilogy, all the books, these comic books, play these video games, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't. No, I don't. I am more than okay with the mythology just being the movies, even if 3 of the 9 suck. I still haven't seen the latest one, and the new ones have their moments. They're fun. I don't fully understand all the decisions, but they're fun movies, They're definitely a whole hell of a lot better than those prequels were.
And for me, since I'm not really like super huge into Star Wars, and I enjoyed the latest ones.
Yeah, I thought they were fun.
Yeah, the prequels, again, not being a big fan, but I was like, I thought they were okay. I know enough to, I know enough to go along with the party and know what's happening and all. But yeah, I was like, for me, I think the key moments that I remember was I liked the pod race. I thought that was pretty fun. I loved the sound of the pod race, and then of course I loved me some Samuel L. Jackson as Mace Windu.
He was fun.
And I've been wanting a purple lightsaber because of that.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I'm glad that there's Mandalorian, because now I can watch something and go like, hey, look, more Star Wars mythos, great. Well, you have to read this book and that book, and like, no, I'm sorry. No offense no offense to people who write books that gets licensed. It doesn't necessarily make them mythology.
Well,
Or I'm sorry, canon. and not to say that I'm the guy that gets to decide, but there's a lot of garbage out there. There just is.
And the thing is, like, if you want to read the books, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, you go right ahead. I ain't gonna
Like,
stop you.
I absolutely want people to read books and read more stuff because it's keeping reading alive,
Sure.
which is what we need to do in this modern day and age. But it's also on the same note, just like, again, enjoy your reading.
That is your business,
Yeah,
not mine.
yeah, have fun with it and discuss it as you see fit, but please don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah, it's you don't
As
get to
in-
sit there
as in
and
life.
you don't get to sit there and preach at me. You know, this is and I'm like, that's nice, that's great. I don't care.
The holy book of the War of Stars.
Exactly, and I just go like, guys, it's just some fun movies from the late '70s, and then some more that were made later, and I like them and they're fun. I'm sorry, I don't view them as being something of a religion. I just don't. I love them, but come on now, calm down.
I've known some people who actually
Are like
who do
Star Warriors. Yeah.
well, they don't call themselves. They actually do follow the Jedi code. And the
Okay,
yeah, they
the Force.
They actively do follow the teachings of the way of the Jedi and all that. I was like, well, again,
Okay. That's
good for
cool.
you. Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm gonna follow the ways of the Terminator, you know, or of the Space Marines, you know, and fight myself some aliens. And guys, I'm not judging. I'm just going like, it's a movie. That's why it's fun. It's not real.
I'm not one to make people's things.
No, I don't want to offend anybody, but some people take their fandom so far that it's impossible to talk to them, and it actually makes it difficult to enjoy it. You know, I'm sorry, it just does. It's like, guys, it's a cartoon, or it's a movie, or it's a blank. Can't it just be that? I mean,
Okay, let's get back onto talking about positive.
sorry,
cartoon
yeah, it just that
movies.
always drove me nuts. You know, it's why I enjoy watching cartoons and stuff in the first place, is so I can escape all the complicated stuff of reality, you know. It's like I just want to go in, like, for example, when you got me Birdman, and I can straight out go like, do I prefer Space Ghost or Birdman? I prefer Space Ghost. Birdman, however, had some really fun stuff. He had a pimped out command center. His command center, 1,000 times cooler than the command center in Space Ghost. Just was freaking amazing. It's at the top of a volcano with a glass iris that open and shut. He had a Birdman pimp throne, which was great. Sunshine was always shining down on him. I mean, in the most ridiculously, you know, blessed by God kind of way. It was in Avenger, which I don't know where he found this freaking mutant bird that can do anything. Was just always hanging out next to him like it didn't have anything better or bird-like to do. And I mean, he just had this great kind of like almost even throne room. That's what was funny about it. It wasn't, but it was like the spy center. It was great.
What I found funny about it is that it's like he was a superhero, but they actually showed him dealing directly with like the U.S. government and
Well,
stuff.
he was dealing with a mysterious man in a tuxedo called Falcon 7, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah.
Which one would assume works for the government. They never actually said, but he was like a patriotic all-American hero type. You know, which was really fun, because as long as you don't have 1,000 of those characters, he was kind of like almost a Captain America-like guy. I've got to do the right thing for the United States of America. I can't attack the boys, you know. And he had that amazing voice. I mean, just...
I want to say that was Gary.
Oh, I almost said Gary Owens. That's not
Actually,
right.
what?
Was that it?
Owens is part of his name because I know there's Gary Owens, the one comedian guy.
I was about to say that didn't sound right.
Let's see. I wonder. Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens.
No, it's not Jesse Owens. Jesse Owens.
I know, but that's what I was thinking Jesse Owens, not Gary Owens.
Okay.
Jesse Owens, clearly he's the voice of Birdman.
Let's see. Birdman.
Birdman! I love that dude. I love that war cry. It's just so ridiculous and wonderful.
Alrighty. Program creators, Alex Tough, Hanna-Barbera. Alright. Come on. Voices of... Oh, sorry. Completely wrong person. That's right, because I remember I showed you the picture of him.
Yeah.
He was voiced by a guy named Keith Andes.
Wow, was I extremely off.
Because he sounds like the guy that voices... we were just talking about him. A Space Ghost.
Yeah.
They sound
very similar,
yeah,
but they're not the same voice.
Space Ghost is, let's see, because
At least I don't think they are.
Space Ghost, no, they're different people.
Okay, good.
He is voiced by.
Because he was the announcer guy on a game show.
Yep.
Let's make a deal, I think.
Let's see, Space Ghost portrayed by Gary Owens. Gary Owens was the name.
Gary Owens. I got one right. It was just the wrong dude.
No, I was about to say because I remember Gary Owens. I was like, okay, the name is familiar, and I keep thinking of the one comedian guy also named Gary Owens. But yeah, Gary Owens also. Let's see, American radio personality, announcer, disc jockey, voice actor, and actor. He was the announcer on Laugh-In. For all of you young kids who don't know that, that was a really wacky comedy sketch.
That's old even for me.
Yeah.
And I have hearing aids. So that makes me a little bit in the olden side.
Let's see, what else did he do? Voiceover cartoon-wise, let's see. Narrator for Perils of Penelope Pit Stop. Title character Roger Ramjet. Space Ghost, of course.
Space Ghost.
He was. Either I missed this episode or I'm not remembering. Batman Brave and the Bold. He actually was. They had Space Ghost on there.
I must have missed that
Yeah,
one.
I think we missed that one that episode. So that was a good one. Let's see. Announcer for Garfield and Friends. He was the narrator for Dr. Fives Rises Again.
Wonderful.
Let's see. He was Powdered Toast Man in Ren and Stimpy.
He should be.
Yeah. He actually played Inspector Gadget in the pilot episode.
Oh, that must have been amazing. That would have made him an entirely different character. Or he would have been super incompetent in a super manly way, which would have been hilarious.
Oh, that's why they said okay. In SWAT Cats, he was the commander guy in SWAT Cats. Okay, that makes sense too. Let's see. Announcer and himself in Space Ghost Coast to Coast, of course.
Oh, so he was actually in Coast to Coast.
Yeah, he was the announcer, and then he played himself, Space Ghost.
Oh, nice.
Let's see. That's pretty much that's as far as the stuff that we've seen. He's done, of course, a ton of other stuff.
Yeah, I always loved the super manly voices because they were so extreme that they were kind of amazing.
One of the the one Talking Tunes podcast I used to listen to, which when they stopped, they finally put like all of the new episodes up. So there's like over 126 episodes I haven't listened to yet from the past like 4 years. And the original show from like 7 or 8 or 6 or 7 years ago, they were talking about Gary Owens and who was the voice actor who was on there? I can't remember the voice actor who was on there, but he imitates Gary Owens and does like Gary Owens-esque voices in a lot of the shows that we were watching from like 2000s and like early 90s and stuff like that. And so they were saying how this guy got a chance to meet Gary Owens before he passed away, and was like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of yours, yada yada. Oh, good, nice to meet you, son, yada yada yada, and don't try and take my job," kind of thing. He's like, "Yay, I want not, sir. I won't do that, sir. And then later on, it's like, I'm serious. Don't try and take my job. It's like, oh, yes, sir.
I'll knife you. Oh my God. Gary Owens threatened to knife me. And he sounded amazing while doing it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it because the guy who voiced the character of Hampton J. Pig also had a really good.
Yeah, he was Dr. Quest, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I want to say that was him.
Which is,
Yeah, I'm looking it up now.
something Masick, Spencer.
Don Messick.
Don Messick, that's it. Don Messick. I always spot him now that I'm watching these older Hanna-Barbera shows. And he does a lot of voices on Birdman too. He's usually the background guy. And he's just got this great voice. And it's funny because I have a hard time attaching him to Hampton J. Pig. I just do. It just doesn't work in my head. Because he's just all these classic, like, old cartoon dudes, and I get it. But I mean oldie.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, films, television, there we go. I mean, because he was doing stuff from, like, 40s. He was doing a lot of movies and voiceovers, and then, let's see, TV-wise, let's see, stuff that we've seen, Huckleberry Hound.
Yeah, he's been in it for a long time.
He was Boo Boo, Ranger Smith, Dingling Wolf. Let's see, he did some stuff in Quick Draw. He was Bam Bam in the Flintstones. Let's see, Top Cat. He played some characters.
He was Top Cat?
No, he played some characters.
Oh, I was about to say it didn't sound like Top Cat. Oh, he was probably the cop on the beat.
See, he was 3 characters named Bo, Prowler, and Dr. Dawson. So it looks like
Maybe not.
He was some of the by the sound of it. He was Astro in the Jetsons, and with other
Awesome.
different ones. Let's see, additional voices.
He did a lot of.
There you go, Johnny Quest, Dr. Benton Quest, and he was Bandit apparently.
Yes. Yeah. He will always be Dr. Quest to me. Because that to me was his greatest role. I love Quest.
Ricochet Rabbit, nice.
Which is actually funny because when I rewatched Laugh Olympics, he was the announcer on there. So as I'm watching Laugh Olympics, I just can't get Dr. Benton Quest, announcing the Laugh Olympics out of my head. Which just made everything so much funnier.
He was Zorak on Space Ghost, and on Birdman he was Falcon 7.
Yeah, yes he was.
Vaporman, Voltro, and additional
Vaporman
voices.
was Galaxy Trio. I want to love it, and I love it because it's weird. But it's one of those shows where you go like, yeah, this was definitely second to Birdman, which was second to Space Ghost. Kind of like. Which, now, to be fair, Galaxy Trio was much better than Dino Boy, which was hard to watch because it was nonsensical and strangely homoerotic in a Nambla kind of way, which was like, you're just hitting moments where you're like, no, don't ride the Bronco like that. Oh, please stop, Jesus, please stop. No, Ugg the Caveman, don't. He's like, what is he like, 11? Stop hugging him like that. The whole thing was uncomfortable and weird.
I almost want to see that series
super
redone.
Weird.
I want to see it redone because it's a really great premise. Well, it's a good premise. I want to see it.
It is a good idea for a show.
Yeah, I want to see it done.
Well.
Yeah, better.
Well, it's sort of a Land of the Lost kind of thing where a boy finds a prehistoric valley and a huge caveman befriends him and blah, blah, blah. It's a decent idea for a show, but it was just not done that well. Though it had moments that I was enjoying, but there was just whole bits where friends would come over and watch it, and they just watch bits as, I forget the boy's name, and Ugg the Caveman are both riding on the back of like a tiny brontosaurus in the most inappropriate way possible. And you're just going like, you're just shaking your head going like, look, even in the 60s, this must have looked bad. This looks so wrong.
He was the voice of Jabberjaw.
Was he?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he was Jabberjaw.
That is so funny.
Yeah, his list of things is like way, Will is like, yeah, it's amazing. And played he voiced, yeah, of course, Scooby Doo for a bit. Well, yeah, Scooby Doo until Frank Welker took over. Let's see. In the Godzilla cartoon, he was Godzuki.
I hated Godzuki. I hate it. Even as a kid, I was like, no. What the hell is that thing?
Let's see. Oh, he was the voice of Papa Smurf and Azrael. Huh. That makes sense, yeah, with Papa Smurf, I can hear that now, yeah.
Yeah, so can I now that you mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Though I don't think I would have initially guessed it, but
Well, it's like it's like Dr. Quest except higher, on a higher range. 'Cause he was
yeah, did they like voice manipulate the actors to get that kind of that odd sound?
No, he just had to be able to. He could do that because Hampton Pig sounds like Papa Smurf
Sure.
except younger.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
just
Yeah, I
that
can
good.
see that.
Yeah, apparently he was one of the nicest guys also.
Yeah, probably was.
In there, and one of the podcast again, they were talking about how they never heard him swear, and so they actually tried to get him to swear while like during Tiny Toons, because I think Tiny Toons was one of his last roles, and they're like just like, come on, just say this word, say this word. He's like, nope, not gonna do it. And so finally, after I think just them just messing with him and all that, he's like, in Hampton's voice, just like dropped an S bomb or something like that, like oh shit or something.
That's funny.
Let's see.
Spaceman and Bird Ghost. Those would be either amazing or terrible characters. I'm not sure which.
Okay, apparently his last role, animation-wise, was he came back to do Dr. Quest's voice in The Real Adventures of Johnny
Yeah.
Quest. Okay.
Yeah, I tried watching those. They made them too.
It was too 90s extreme.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was like they did what they did with the new Indiana Jones, is they made it so nobody got hurt, and it was like, sorry, for anybody out there who really loves make it safe for the kids, but that's not my bag. It's like it's just so meh when they do that.
That also was a time period. A lot of young people nowadays don't really know that, because that's stuff that we had to grow up with the whole, after all of the war stuff, and then the drug fear stuff and the satanic panic and
Yeah, Satan is going to take your children with Dungeons and Dragons and Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, they really, well, yeah, I mean, it started with comics, and comics were going to completely rot kids' brains, and yeah, it's funny how all that stuff supposedly anyway, but yeah, they were just really doing the whole watch out, and let's see, Tipper Gore was really into that whole.
Tipper Gore needed to go home
and
pick a different project.
And between her and Ted Turner, they really needed to just sit down and watch some good cartoons.
Ted Turner can suck it.
I mean, because Ted Turner brought us some of the
Pain and misery.
He brought us some of the networks that we have today that are still going and all that.
The man thought all cartoons should be educational. If that
Yes.
isn't satanic, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why the show, once we're going to bring up again, SWAT Cats, why it only lasted for so long, and while it had a really fantastic premise, it didn't really do much, because he wanted everything to be safe and and calm and quiet, and which is one of the reasons why Captain Planet was made, because he really wanted this friendly kind of thing, and then he turned his back on that because it was becoming too frightening and violent for kids. If I remember the story with that one, but in his mind, I should say. But yeah, it was. Yeah. I just remember the robot chicken sketch they had with him. And he painted himself blue and was crazy and would jump out windows. Captain Planet!
Well, the thing is I don't personally mean anything against the guy, but you're just like, dude, stop it. You ruined so many people's childhoods because of your weird opinion. It's just like, stop. There could have been so many amazing American cartoons from that time period.
If you have that much money at hand,
and that's what you chose to do with
do you
it.
think you'd do a bit more research into your cause to make sure that what's
It was
happening?
worth it?
At least that's what I would do. I don't know, but again, that's probably why I'm not a billionaire, because the world would be in trouble if I had that much money.
If I had that much money, there would be a lot more interesting things on television.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, again, back to the positive stuff. And all
Well, it
that.
is positive.
Yeah.
I could put some amazing things on television.
Yeah, no, I'm saying back to the positive stuff. Yeah. Trust us, all the wacky ideas that we had coming up with. I still want to see Bloods versus Cryptids.
Everyone does, sweetie. Even the people that don't know about it want to see it.
That's looking nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. Birdman! And Bird Boy!
Oh, gee.
I hate it. Bird Boy needed to stop. Bird Girl showed up as sort of a villain character.
She was the Smurfette.
She was the Smurfette. And then Bird Boy, which was just
He was the Scrappy
weird
Doo.
in every way. That character was so strange. He was the Scrappy Doo of the show. He should, and nothing against the guy that voiced him and stuff, but he was creepy and he was weird and
Which is why in Birdman Attorney at Law they made him the way he did. 'Cause
creepy and crazy and weird. Yeah, super strange character. He was. His dad disappeared, so Birdman adopted him, and on the side he put on the Bird Boy outfit and got all muscly and went out and looked for his dad. It was just such a strange character.
Which is why I love that in Attorney at Law they just nicknamed him Peanut.
Yeah, he was weird. He was so much better in Birdman Attorney at Law, and Bird Girl was not that good. She was amazing in Attorney at Law.
Loved Attorney at Law. I actually wanted to cosplay her after seeing her in that.
Yeah, she was great.
Such a fun series.
So anywho, everyone have yourself a good week, and we will catch you later.
Are you not going to do the closeout?
And I was trying not to.
Oh, okay.
I was trying not to because
Nope, you got to do it. Sorry. It's part
it's
of the
King Boomy and Birdman
locked in the eternal struggle.
locking lips for eternity in my sketchbook. Insane weird old madness meet insane
Future madness.
weird old madness. So oh, there's some dentures in there somewhere. Oh, there's stinky old tiny dentures in there somewhere. Ugh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Well, so no, you're not.
I'm not sorry. I am, however, going to have to rinse that visual out of my head. Which, not that I'm against that kind of thing. But it's an ugly picture. It just is. Let's everyone face it. It's an ugly, ugly, ugly picture. So, catch you later. Have yourself a good